Hôm nay là ngày 23 tháng 5 2012. Xem sinh con của Hồng sẽ đi lãnh bằng Anh ngữ hoàn tất của bậc tiểu học. Đây là ngày đi lãnh cái bằng đó tại cái cổng quan cảnh trước cổng trường. Đây là Hồng đang đây, Hồng đây. Hoa Kỳ và cờ tiểu bang phất phới trước cổng trường. Trường này gọi là trường Ray Smith. Vừa đi vừa cầm ly cà phê. Đây là mẹ Hồng lại ăn bữa nay được con học giỏi được mời ăn breakfast với hiệu trưởng. Đây là ăn breakfast cùng có nước juice, apple, donut. Rồi có gì đây? Bánh ngọt, cái táo, nước táo, nước cam. Đây, mẹ của Xem sinh lại bắt đầu ăn sáng. Ở đây luôn cho ba rồi không? Đây mẹ Hồng lấy giùm ba. Rồi bây giờ tạm nghỉ giờ ăn.
Of the fact that we had such a great turnout today. We knew we had 51 captives because they were already here. But it's great to see so many parents come and join us in this. Did you guys all get phone calls from our staff to invite you? Okay, great, very good. That makes it easier because you know definitely that it's an event that you're encouraged to attend. We're here today to celebrate a tremendous accomplishment by your children. When your children started school at Schmidt or at whatever school they began their career at, they were identified as what we call English language learners. And that's not anything exciting other than the fact that it means that at home, more than one language was spoken. So in your home, when your children are at school, you or your family, somebody in the family spoke another language other than English. Nothing too fancy. Okay? Well, that's something that the California school system and the United States school system takes great pride in helping students do, and that's learn English. And our school in particular, we really work hard to make sure that your children become what we call fluent English proficient, which is a fancy school term for they can read in English, they can speak correctly in English, and they can write in English. There's 3 parts. And we test their proficiency each year. Each summer, you get an invitation from Mrs. Urbanic's office. This is Mrs. Urbanic. She's our district administrator of, help me with your title, I don't even know what it is.
Categorical program.
Administrator of categorical programs. So she's one of my bosses, okay? But that's okay, I like her anyway. Matter of fact, I invited her to join us today because she really helps us do the things we do. Our goal is for every student that comes into our school as a kindergartner to become reclassified from being an English language learner to becoming a reclassified, fluent English proficient student by the time they graduate from Schmidt and move on to Johnson. I want every single one of our children that come into our school to make that transition, because we know this about students that become fluent. They do better than students that come to us fluent. That's right. A student that comes to school speaking English, or a student that comes to school speaking another language and learns English, that student is better academically in the long run than a student who just came to school speaking English. They do better on standardized tests. They do better economically as graduates of high schools and going into colleges because they have a skill that many, many people don't have. The ability to speak in 2 languages, which is why I always encourage parents to continue speaking in whether it's English, or whether it's Spanish, Vietnamese, whatever language it is in the home. Let your child keep that language. And we'll help give your child English. So they'll have the gift of multiple languages, which is a tremendous asset. I'm jealous of and envious of every single person in this room who speaks both English and Spanish fluently. Because I'll tell you a little secret. I passed a lot of classes in my time. The one class that I struggled with the most, Spanish. My 10th grade Spanish teacher, I was terrified of the man. I literally was afraid of him. Turns out he was a really nice guy. Mr. Behill was his name. But good Lord, I could not learn Spanish. I tried and tried and tried and tried. So I'm probably the only person in this room that doesn't speak more than 1 language. And I'm jealous of you guys. But I'm also proud of you guys. I'm proud of the students. I'm proud of the work that the parents have done. Each year your kids have come in and taken a test called the CELT, which is the California English Language Development Test. And that measures each year whether your kids are making progress in learning English. In order to reclassify, they had to pass that test with scores of 4 or 5 in several different areas. 1, the overall test, and then there are 4 subcomponents to that test. There's listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So they have to pass all 4 of those parts and have it be enough points to pass overall. So that's one piece, and all the children in this room did that. Second part, each May we take something called the CSTs. Boys and girls, have we taken the CSTs recently? Yes, we have. They have to earn a score of 335 or higher on that test in English language arts in order to be in this room. So that's 2 big tests. The third part is they have to turn in a writing assessment or a writing piece that meets the standards on a rubric that's really tough. So they have to do a really great job on a writing project that we can use to take a look at to make sure that not only are they speaking properly in English, they're reading well in English, and they're also writing well in English. Because the currency of academics is writing. So the way that we use money to buy things at a store, the way the business world values education is how adults can write. So we place a lot of emphasis on writing. And it's very important that your children have that ability. And the good news is, all 51 students in this room passed all 3 of those areas. The writing assessment, the CSTs, and the CELT. And they did it before they left to go to middle school. How many of my boys and girls in here are in 5th grade? Raise your hand. Raise your hand, 5th graders. Come on, if you're a 5th grader, raise your hand. Okay. Very important for our 5th graders, and here's the reason why. Your children that reclassify will have access to even more challenging classes in middle school. They'll get access to better classes in high school, advanced placement classes, because they have reclassified. They won't need intervention classes when they get to Johnson or when they get to Westminster High School to continue to help them learn English. They're still going to take English classes, but they're not going to take English classes to help them learn English anymore. They're going to take English classes that will help them master language as a tool that they'll have to be successful in life. So it's very exciting. This is probably more important that you're in this room today than for our 5th grade parents. It's more important that you're here today than in 3 weeks when we walk across and shake hands and we give your child a certificate of promotion. This day today is more important. I'm more excited about this. I'm always excited about the end of the year. I'm excited about the kids going to middle school, but I'm more excited about the kids going to middle school ready to be successful and ready to be competitive. Not with the other kids in Westminster, but competitive with kids all across the country. Because that's really what we want to see happen. So I'm excited for you guys, boys and girls, for the doors that you've opened for yourselves by the hard work that you've done in elementary school. It is not easy. Kindergarten is not what it was when I was in kindergarten. Matter of fact, I don't know if they had schools when I was in kindergarten. I think they taught kindergarten in caves. Okay, I might not be that old, but it was a long time ago. Kindergarten was playtime when I was in kindergarten. Now, our kids are coming out of kindergarten reading a lot. The expectations for these students across the board academically is up here compared to where it used to be. And I'm excited that even though the bar has been raised, that your children are being successful. It's a credit to you as parents. It's a credit to them for the hard work that they do, both at home and at school, and it's also a credit to their teachers. So, I'm glad that you joined us for breakfast this morning. We're going to be presenting students with certificates, and I'm going to ask Mrs. Urbanic if she'll help me with that, because I'll read all the names and all that. And boys and girls, as you hear your name called, if you would come up to the podium, and I want you to stay up here so we can get a group photo. We're going to have to get a camera that has a wide-angle lens. I don't know where we're going to find that. Maybe they'll have to fly over our school and take a picture. We have so many kids. I want to tell you, before we get to that, I want to talk about our school for a minute, because I'm really proud of the efforts that our teachers have had. In the last 4 years, we have reclassified 181 students. We reclassified 51 students this year, 51 students last year, 39 the year before. Okay, so that's 140. Okay, that is more than any school in Orange County our size. Mrs. Urbanic, does that hold water? Is that is more than any school the size of Schmidt. We have 515 kids. In that time period, there's no one close to that. In our district, is anybody close? Probably Mears was closest. I have to say that because she used to be the principal at Mears.
Talk about other schools.
But yes, you can. She knows I'm always going to talk about our schools. But there are a few schools. There are very few schools that do as good of a job of working with English language learners as our school does. And Miss Dodds is bringing some more refreshments. So parents, if you didn't get a breakfast roll, we'll get that for you. We'll get that. We'll sneak one after we do the presentation of the awards. Mr. Urbanic, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, I just want to say this is really a big day. These are very, very difficult tests. They're across the whole state and across the whole country. And that means that your children are competing with all the other children at the same credit level across the United States. So that's something to be very proud of. I hope you go home and tell your family members that aren't here today about what a big, big accomplishment this is. And please, please keep teaching them their other language. Read to them in Spanish, Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese, because the children of the future need more than one language. We need more than English. So, good job. Thank you.
Good job, boy.
Okay, boys and girls, these certificates are not in any particular order, so they're from different classes. Okay, so you're going to have to be listening for your name. They're not by grade level. Our first student that we're recognizing today is Elizabeth Alperon. Elizabeth, please come forward. Don't forget to Naomi Hernandez. Danny Luke. Christina Tang. Jacqueline Tran. And Jacqueline Tu.
Tất cả có 51 học sinh toàn trường
Okay, girls facing me.
được cái bằng này.
Eyes on me. Please hold your certificates up. Not that high. Right here.